I knew that this is gonna happen. So a lot of you guys might come in from my unexpectedly popular video about how the Starfire actress received harassment to the point where she quits her social media. Now regarding that video, there hasn't been any new things popping up, at least as far as I know, but I'm glad that the reception was positive enough. So thank you for watching that video, and thank you to the new subscribers. Incidentally, also thank you to my new patrons, Steel Sunglass, Bakshi, Mary, and Vulture Culture for the pledges on Patreon. You guys are fantastic. Now back to the topic. I've said in my last video that allegedly there was harassment towards the actresses both in Anna Diop's case and in Kelly Marie Tran's case. And I also said that this entire thing could have been just a PR stunt that people can pay attention to the shows. Some of you say that I am virtue signaling on that. I am really not. I'm not trying to virtue signal that harassment is bad. I'm just saying that even if the harassment narrative is true, they're only half of the story. The other half of the story that the media frequently ignores is the creators and the producers who refuse to take responsibility for their creations and put these actresses on the spotlight through either badly designed costume or horrible writing. My main point of that video is to highlight the other half of the story that so many people, especially journalists, frequently ignored. But in this case, I don't think there is another half. Ruby Rose, an actress who played in John Wick 2 and is gonna play as Catherine Kane, aka Batwoman in CW's crossover show, received harassment from people in social media because she's famous and she's not Jewish? Now you know me, I love DC, and Batwoman is one of those characters that had so much potential. But since we only got to the casting announcement and not even 1 nanosecond of a trailer, we can't really judge the right— What? It's from CW? Well, in that case, it's probably not going to be that great. But putting all of that aside, I can't really think of something to complain about. Not to the writing, not to the show, not to CW, especially not to the actress. I can't think of one single thing to complain about. I haven't seen any of the CW DC shows since around 2016. So if they're going to make a Batwoman show, go ahead. I don't care. So the question right now is, who are these people? What kind of criticisms that people have towards Ruby Rose? What makes her to quit her social media account? Well, last time the answer was a little bit vague, but this time the answer is pretty clear. I did a little bit of digging and I do find the complaints. These are just some of the samples of the backlash, so sit back and enjoy. Okay, here's an article about how the people at Twitter are divided at the backlash. You have Janelle Monáe and Anna Kendrick, of all people, congratulating Ruby for the role. You have Laverne Cox, Stephen Amell, as in the guy who played Oliver Queen from Arrow. Lots more people congratulating Ruby, and honestly, I don't think she's a bad choice. She does look like a nice choice to become Batwoman. It's just that it's CW, and when I say CW, I mean the newer CW, not Flash Season 1, not Arrow Season 1, which were amazing, but the newer ones were just kind of meh. Anyway, after the constant streams of people congratulating her, including big name actors, we have a bunch of people being skeptical. Here's someone saying that Ruby Rose cannot act. I mean, she's not too bad. I've seen her in John Wick Chapter 2 and she kicks ass in that one, even if she doesn't say any line. Quite literally. That, and she's just fine in The Meg. The Meg isn't a great film, but it's an enjoyable film if you have a friend or a family member who asks you to watch it with them. I don't really see the complaint. Maybe I need to see Orange is the New Black.
Like, no shade or anything, but Ruby Rose is so uninteresting as an actress. Like, she just isn't captivating at all.
Okay, that's just an opinion. Nothing too toxic here.
Queer women, please cast our queer actors in queer roles. CW, cast Ruby Rose. Queer women, this is an attack!
I'm not really sure what this meant, so I dig in more tweets, and here is someone who is very passionate about recasting Batwoman that they have it on their username.
Number 1, bad actress. Number 2, she is cast even when other queer women act better than her because she's more well known. Number 3, doesn't look even a little similar to Kate. Number 4, I'm a huge Batwoman fan and I can't see her being butchered by a terrible actor and CW.
Well, she's going to be at CW, and CW isn't really well known to write consistently likable characters. As for the other points, there was a petition being made to make Ashley Platts as Batwoman coming from someone named Supergirl Fan. Does something like this really need petition? Actually, that's a question I would ask to any petition in general. It's all to the point where the actress herself had to step in and defend Ruby. Looks like the entire controversy came from a bunch of people who wanted Ruby Rose to be recast because she just isn't fit for the role. There's even an entire hashtag surrounding it, hashtag recast Batwoman. So not only there are petitions, there are also hashtag campaigns for this recasting. I'm still really not sure why Ruby Rose cast as Batwoman caused this amount of outrage from what appears to be the LGBT community. Here's one of the complaints from the fans.
No tea, no shade, but is Ruby Rose the only lesbian actress Hollywood knows? Or do they just don't want to take any chances by hiring an unknown lesbian actress and giving her a chance to rise in her career?
Well, she is certainly well known and Hollywood loves to take no risks and play it safe, That's just the typical Hollywood way. It sucks, but it happens. Not just to Ruby Rose or the Batwoman casting, but a lot of Hollywood casting as well. I personally don't have the energy to air my complaints to Hollywood in terms of really poor casting, unless if it's really, really bad. Ruby Rose's Batwoman is not as bad as any other casting news I've seen, but that's just my personal take.
I've got nothing against Ruby, but as a Kate Kane fan, her comic plays a huge role in me coming to terms with my lesbian identity. I know for a fact that she's not the right choice for this role. It doesn't add up. I really wish they would tried harder.
Okay, that's just one take out of this entire thing. So people are not impressed with her acting, she doesn't really fit for the role, and Hollywood could cast other more talented actresses for the role. This is just Hollywood being Hollywood. I personally don't see why we should be outraged by this, let alone having a petition or a massive Twitter hashtag campaign.
If I'm honest, Ruby Rose has never really done it for me, and I feel like CW had a great opportunity to cast a lesbian unknown and have us fall in love with her, as opposed to casting someone at least some of queer female community is not crazy about.
So she should be cast by someone else because she's not attractive enough? Again, Hollywood does this all the time. They always pick up the safest actors for their roles, which can lead into some controversies like Scarlett Johansson Ghost in the Shell. Hot take, I thought Ghost in the Shell wasn't as bad as everyone says it is. It's just really mediocre and boring. And Scarlett Johansson as not really Motoko Kusanagi is actually perfect. Sure, she acts like an emotionless robot, but she's told to play a character who is an emotionless robot, so there you go.
Finding out Batwoman isn't gonna be played by a Jewish woman like she should be, like, disappointed but not surprised.
Now this is downright confusing. She doesn't really have to be Jewish. She's playing a character who is Jewish. That's what we call acting. Hell, she doesn't really have to be a lesbian. She can be played by a straight actress who acts like a lesbian. Yes, that will piss off tons of people, but those people don't even know what acting means. Let's check out some of other people's takes here.
Okay, but casting Ruby Rose as Batwoman truly is a big middle finger to all the lesbian fans. Like, they don't care about the rep. They just wanted to cast a lesbian to have good press, so they just gave it to her because she's well known and liked by straight girls.
Okay, it's a middle finger to all the lesbian fans because Hollywood or CW don't care about the representation of LGBT people. It's all about the good press. So they cast a lesbian who is liked by straight girls? I don't get it. I'm confused. Mary Sue, do you have a take on this? Oh, you do? Excellent. So, what's your take?
I do wish they had chosen someone non-white in the role, just because I think that added diversity would be really great.
Okay, Mary Sue, you do realize that Batwoman fans are mostly people on the LGBT community, and they're going to freaking vandalize you if you decided to cast someone who is non-white for the role. And I'm sitting here with my popcorn when that happens. Also, didn't you get mad when Buffy was about to cast a non-white actress?
Hopefully the show will take that into consideration with the rest of their casting. Maybe we'll be able to see Kate Kane date Renee Montoya and everyone will win.
I mean, I don't disagree. Catherine and Renee were lovers, so yeah, hopefully they got someone to play Renee Montoya. Although if I recall correctly, Gotham had the rights for her character. Other than demanding Batwoman to be someone who is non-white, even Mary Sue's take is a lot milder than I expected. And so far, that's my summary to this entire outrage. It's a lot milder than expected. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. I still have hashtag recast Batwoman to look out for. We will see how passionate people can be with this.
So now people are trolls or bullies for not wanting a hypocritical person with no talent to represent Batwoman? Oh, please. People are rightfully pointing out her hypocrisy. They are stating facts. She's not a victim. She made that bed.
Okay, how is Ruby Rose a hypocrite? I have to be missing out on this, and judging from her Twitter profile, this is a Batwoman fan. But other Batwoman fans spat back in perhaps one of the most hilarious Twitter banter that I've seen in a while.
You caused someone who did nothing to you to freaking leave social media and cover her face in public. But I hope you're happy.
She tweeted that she left Twitter to focus on her projects. Nobody chased her away, you unimaginable morons. Causes her to leave social media and cover her face in public. Your tweet is unbelievably stupid.
She tweeted before she came back to clear stuff, which proved it was because of all the hate, and yet it did cause her to cover her face in public.
She actually kind of did. I'm not sure about the context for this picture or when it was taken. What I do know is that after a reverse image search, it's posted by a Twitter account named Ruby Rose Daily who stated that she hid herself in the face of the public. I need more sources for these claims, but let's just assume that she did hide her face in the public because of the backlash.
Oh, F off
off with that. She's a big girl. She can handle herself. People are calling her a hypocrite because she outed and trashed other women. What does she expect? Praise for it? She can't handle the heat for what she did, so she runs. Nobody is to blame for the mess that she created. So stop trying to blame other people for her actions and claiming they're bullies for calling her out or something she messed up on. It's freaking ridiculous and it won't work.
I think most people would be annoyed by a hashtag campaign made by people who think that you shouldn't play the role that you're given simply because you're not Jewish.
Seriously, what the hell is your problem? What did she do that is so terribly unforgivable? You do realize that it was someone else that outed Demi, right? Ruby just made a comment on it which she admitted was inappropriate and apologized for, hence the reason she's only done that once.
F off!
I'm sorry, that's just amazing. This person just gave up and tell this other person to screw off. I don't get the drama surrounding Ruby apparently outing someone. Is it really that relevant to the scenario? If that's true, then how does that impact her performance in playing as Batwoman?
Let's get one thing clear. People are pushing for hashtag recast Batwoman mainly because the role should go to a Jewish lesbian. Yes, people also think that Ruby Rose is a mediocre actress, but that's the shallow part. Jewish lesbian character should be played by a Jewish lesbian. It's a simple concept.
Okay, so I can safely conclude that this entire hashtag is run by a bunch of people who doesn't know what acting means, as pointed out by one person at the bottom here.
After this legit backlash, you'd think Ruby and her supporters would realize that Ruby, a non-Jewish person, stole a role from actual Jewish actresses and thus taking away the already very few representation Jewish people have. But nope.
Very few representation Jewish people have. What substance are you smoking, lady? To sum up their critiques, the point of criticisms for her casting is as follows. Ruby Rose's acting, which I don't have too much material to form my own judgment, but from the 2 films that I've seen her in, I think she's just fine. Hollywood or CW not casting unknown lesbian actresses, which is just big media corporations being big media corporations, so I don't think it's worth getting outraged on. Ruby Rose isn't Jewish, which is a really stupid critique because there's a good reason why we call this entire thing acting. And finally, Ruby Rose is a hypocritical asshole. Actors and actresses being assholes in social media, stop the press please. And a lot of these complaints are aired under the banner of hashtag recast Batwoman, which contains some seriously toxic individuals that demand 100% accurate representation. Now say what you want about how legitimate those complaints are, I think starting a hashtag campaign to desperately change it is really freaking stupid. Even if you're only taking about her poor acting, that's not really worth a hashtag campaign outrage on. Do we need a hashtag campaign to complain about someone's bad acting? The worst criticism of all is about representation, which is just the pettiest of complaints. Are there someone else much better to play her role? Yes. Can someone else who is Jewish and lesbian play her role? Yes. Should someone else who is Jewish and lesbian play her? No. Does this entire thing need a Twitter hashtag campaign? No. The issue isn't that you don't have legitimate points. The issue is the fact that you are nagging it. You demand it, you begged for it, and you nagged it like it's the only relevant thing that keeps you going. You nagged it to the social media of the actors involved. In other words, actual harassment! Even if I agree with your critiques, you are nagging the people involved in social media with this hashtag campaign. This is just beyond desperation. No wonder why the actress quits Twitter. She can't handle the amount of fans nagging her about how she's a horrible choice. Now, hashtag campaigns in general are really damn stupid, but a hashtag campaign built on a casting disagreement has to be the absolute bottom tier of first world problem activism. This person says it best. There are indeed worse things in the world that need attention. To all of you people who complain, you might have legitimate criticisms, but you didn't air them in a respectful manner. You didn't just go, hey, here's my take on it, and you don't have to agree with it. No, you actually went through the extra mile by nagging her social media, making petitions, and making a hashtag campaign, all because you disagreed with a casting choice. I criticize people a lot in my channel, but I don't nag them in social media. I just say my piece and move on, which is something that these people can't freaking do. All of you need to slow down and chill. This isn't the apocalypse. It's a casting decision that you disagreed. You might have your take on them, but don't nag the person in social media. Don't make a hashtag campaign out of this really small and petty thing. You're only gonna make yourselves look bad, and you are looking really bad right now. Actually, you know what? Here's a much better solution to all the actors and actresses out there. Mute your notifications. Seriously, if you quit social media because people are nagging you in your mentions, why not just mute them? On Twitter, there's this feature called advanced filters that allow you to mute notifications from people you don't follow, who don't follow you, with a new account, etc, etc. If you want to read people's comments, just go to your post and read them down there. Simple. You don't have to read everybody's comment. Sure, it's a cowardly move, but if you've been on a social media and realize how incredibly toxic people can be, I don't blame you for muting your notifications. I muted some of the tweets that I got that went unexpectedly big because my phone keeps ringing it and I only wanted to ring the most important notifications. Actually, I have no idea how I got 2 million impressions on Twitter in the past month. All I did there was to look out for memes and like people's hentais. So you know what? Whatever your take on this entire thing, can we all just agree that John Wick is an awesome film?